Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 13th of March. So looking at the pound dollar actually first, and a lot of people have been asking our opinions on where the pound may go with these Brexit conversations, etc. Well, it's pretty much like this. We got the no deal vote, and then tomorrow we've got a extension vote. So there's two votes coming up. Now, no deal, if that's taken off the table effectively, that becomes a much more bullish thing for cable. If we get an extension, again a vote, that also is a bullish aspect from cable. Whether this extension will be granted or whatever else is another matter, and that will be more volatility. We saw it yesterday just in terms of what was happening yesterday. It at one stage, or the day before, it looked like there was going to be a deal made. It happened quite early and sort of thing, and people were getting quite excited. But as it went through, we saw some follow through the next day, yesterday. And then there's a sort of realization, okay, that means Britain is going to come out the EU sooner rather than later. So then we saw the selling off, but we saw the selling off to the point where then the DUP and the Conservative Party's members that are very much for Brexit, and then we saw a rally. So it sold off. Then the rally, when there was no agreement, it looked like there was going to be no agreement previously, and then it's dulled off a little bit from there. But yes, it's down on the previous day. There at the moment, well, you can see what's happening. It's rallying. I say rallying, but moving back up at the moment. So expectations then, I don't know. It'd be foolish to try and guess how far any of these, the movement on either of these. Obviously, if it was a no deal, people would see that as possibly, from a financial point of view, risk. A no deal is no risk. Extending it is no risk. Not extending it is risk. So there you go. You can make your picture up from that. But it does look like, well, we'll see. it's gonna be volatile, and it's going to be intraday volatile. But there are points to be made within these markets. We proved it yesterday, and well, there's points to be made. Okay. So that's the pound. That's and what I say, that's the pound. I've looked at it from a daily perspective. Let's just look at the technicals. The technicals do come into play, of course, but when the fundamentals shine, boy, does it forget the technicals. It just flows, and that's what we saw yesterday a couple of times. I mean, this point here, it just come off very quickly. We got an amazing bounce back. It doesn't look very much, but this is in 50 pip units here. So that we were up 83 pips at once, so 82, 83, 84 pips at one stage on a trade. It came back off a bit, but still, there's pips to be made if you're following things. And you do need to keep an eye on the news, unfortunately. For now, it's looking, well, it's a bit overbought where it sits in the short term. On the short term 30-minute time frames, I'm seeing a bit of an overbought signal. However, we'll see how this reacts. It's come out of a consolidated phase, particularly on the 30-minute there. Although it is showing overbought, so I'd be a bit wary, maybe looking for retracements if I was to be buying. Target wise, it's a bit difficult with some of these targets. I had to keep flexible yesterday, but maybe the R1. Yesterday certainly got down to its S1, but if it was to push up here, maybe we'd move towards that area. Okay, that's the pound. There's a lot on the pound there, but let's come into the euro. Let's just look at this purely technically at the moment, he says, with these big gaps in there. I'm just going to refresh this. Okay, there we go, refreshed. So looking here like it's may have a bigger bounce. I talked about this yesterday, that may yet go, and it's pushed up. It's seeing a bigger bounce at the moment. Looking at the 4-hourly picture, where high lows, high highs coming in through this. And as I'm looking at it at the moment, it's been handrailing this 50 moving average here, the 4-hourly 50. Maybe if it can pitch through there, it's got further upside potential. Consolidated is word at the moment to be used for this. It's just not really going too far, but would be good if it just pitched down. Now my pivots here have not been quite so reliable of late on this software. If this pivot is true, it'd be good to see whether that's come through. I'm just looking at some other charts. No, it's exactly the same. That's fine. So if this pivot was hit, it'd be nicer because that ticks off a box in terms of probability, but it could just break through as 200 and run. One seems like a logical place there at 13.14 to the upside. Maybe looking at these highs above there, it could even pitch beyond that. It's not the biggest, unlike the pound. This is in well, actually in 20 units, so 20 pip scaling there, so it still could move a reasonable chunk, but again, look how choppy it was yesterday. You've got to be flexible in and out on these markets, unfortunately, at the moment. Dollar yen. Dollar yen, looking at what's going on here, well, I was looking for upside yesterday and it started selling off, but dollar yen does still look like it's got the potential to push on upwards. We saw the sell-off in certain places, but look how choppy it is on this 4 hourly. Very difficult to get a read on that. And again, well, we're down to 10 pip scaling on the right hand side here, which just shows you how tight this market is. It probably looks like it's moved a lot further than it is, but maybe if it pitches back above this weekly pivot, it's a very fine black line here on my chart, the 111.36 area, if it can push back above there, we could see it run back up towards the R1, maybe that 60-minute 200. But the thing with this is what we're seeing yesterday was when the risk started rolling 11 o'clock, everything else was selling off, the euro, the pound, and we saw the dollar yen selling off as well as risk was running into it. Then as it sort of eased off came the, I say the risk came off, risk was off, and people were looking for safety, off it came. Then, oh, it's okay, off came the safety catch. So at the moment, volatile, risky, but got potential for the upside in my book, fundamentally. Okay, Aussie dollar, well, it's no one, it's quite difficult to read at times, and quite a tight scaling as we run through this. Actually not quite as tight. This is in bigger units here. Looking at this then, well, we've got, it's been pushing up. Fundamentally, I think there's a hell of a lot of weakness there, which may give opportunities to sell into. It's put high lows, high highs in. It may be rolling over a little bit more at the moment. From a 60-minute point of view, it rolled off really late last night through into the Asian session there. At the moment, well, maybe double bottom, maybe we'll see a move back, a bit of a bounce from this area potentially. It's not quite a double bottom there at the moment. A break of that 60-minute 8 could see it running back towards the daily pivot there. So there is potential, but overall it's broken this trend line, so it's looking bearish from that perspective. Okay, and finally the Canadian dollar. So let's come up the time frames. The Canadian dollar had, or has, I should say, benefited from stronger oil prices here, and as it should do. Nicely correlated with the push up of the oil. At the moment, it's slow, that's for sure. Come down the time frames here, lower highs, lower lows. It looks like it could have further downside. And if we run into a 60-minute chart here, just to get a bit picture, it'd be nice to see it run into its daily pivot above there. We've seen this, saw it run into yesterday, pitched through a little bit into the 50, no surprise there, and then eventually rolled over later on there in the morning, well, coming into the afternoon UK time. So at the moment you may get something of the same, very slow movement often during the morning sessions, and it's the afternoon obviously when it, I say obviously, but when it picks up it's just more volumes coming through as the US Canadian markets are open. So that's where we stand at the moment with these markets. News wise today we've got the annual budget release, is tentative here, so we've got potentially the budget today. Let's see what time that's due to be released annually. Well, spring statement. Okay, I've got a feeling it's about midday-ish or just after question, so it's about 1 o'clock, I think. if I got that right. Okay, and then 12:30 before that, core durable goods at 12:30 and PPI, so some data there at 12:30. Right, and of course the Brexit vote probably around about 7 o'clock again this evening. That's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.